What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here in this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, there has been an update to the governance proposal for Splinter Royale. So we're only 4 days into the pre-proposal, so it's going to be another 3 days until it is actually flipped over into a real or final proposal. But one of the main things that was adjusted here is the revenue share. There's two things: the revenue share as well as the payment schedule. So the team is still asking for $50,000 in BUSD, USDC, USDT, basically in funds from the DAO. But what they're going to do, instead of a 15%, they are going to be doing a 50% revenue share via the cryptocurrencies up to the first $100,000, meaning that they would pay back the $50,000 that they would borrow. So for the first $100,000 worth of revenue that they earn from selling their heroes, starter packs, battle passes, they would split that with the DAO. So essentially the DAO is getting back everything that it put in. Now, some people might look at this and say, well, the DAO's not getting more, right? The DAO could take that money and invest it somewhere else and have some kind of return. And my argument to that would be, well, sure, you could put it into HBD, earn 20%, but that's not helping the ecosystem anyway. That's only helping the DAO. So I'm not too worried about the return on investment. I think this is a great way over the next year or however long it takes for the DAO to make an investment into something and then have that value be added to the ecosystem by people continuing to use SPS, DEC, as well as maybe even their cards in the upcoming Splinter Royale game. Now, the other way that payment would be adjusted would be to do it on a monthly basis over 8 months, $62.50 starting with November, going all the way until June of next year, as opposed to what they had originally, where they would get 50% upfront in November and then another 50% in January. So this would be something as we go along, we would be able to hopefully follow along with their development cycle and all that. And I don't think anything has changed in terms of when they're planning to actually launch the game. It looks like that's going to come around sometime middle of next year. I don't know if it's, there's a beta V1 in Q1, beta V2 in Q2. So probably the launch will be somewhere towards the end of Q2 or maybe early Q3, which again, should be at the end of June. Now, what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling about this is something that I am supporting. Matt has been very supportive of this from the beginning. He said very nice things about the Real Wolf, I think who it is, the developer, and the contribution that they have made both as a team member and also just to the ecosystem as a whole. So this is one of those things where I'm going to go out on a limb here. And I know I criticize some people for just blindly believing in Matt or blindly believing in the project, but I do trust Matt's judgment in many ways. And this is something that, while he hasn't necessarily looked at all the details and hasn't tried the game, and I personally haven't tried the game yet, although I do keep hearing good things about it. So keep that in mind. Just trying to put out for full context where my biases or where my ignorances might lie. But because of that, this is something that I think could add a lot of value to the ecosystem in a way that I was excited about something like Soulkeep, where you just have a different style of game utilizing Splinterlands assets, utilizing Splinterlands tokens. And we don't really know when Soulkeep is going to happen. We don't have an idea or if it's even on a roadmap. This is something that is probably going to be later in 2024. So it's actually fun and exciting to think about something that is being developed on its own, with or without this governance proposal, to help the ecosystem. And I don't think that $50,000 is much or asking for too much from the ecosystem, especially with the DAO kind of pumped up with value right now. And with us going into a hopefully bull market over 2024, 2025, I think adding value to the ecosystem as a whole, adding different ways that people can participate and giving more utility to the NFTs and to the tokens is something that could be very valuable. So I'm going to go with Matt on this. I appreciate the Splinter Royale team for coming back and adjusting this, giving us more of that kind of sweetheart deal that Splinterlands did with the DAO itself, 50-50 split. Obviously, this is not going to be a long-term thing. It is just to recoup the revenues. After that, after the first 100,000 in sales, the Splinter Royale team will keep everything from there, but the DAO will be made whole again, which I think is important enough. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below if this changed your mind and how you feel about it overall. But again, I think that this is something worth considering. If you're not supporting it, I would love to hear why. But I think that this is a great move from the Splinter Royale team to listen to the community feedback, to come back and try to be in a little bit more of an equitable partnership with the DAO. And hopefully, no matter what happens, I am cheering for Splinter Royale to do well in the same way that I cheer for a lot of the other games in not just the Splinterlands ecosystem like Splinter Forge, but just Hive in general. We want this entire ecosystem of games to grow just because it adds value, could bring in new faces, new people, new money, and just overall value to the ecosystem. So that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I will catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.